Hello and welcome to another Hang Loose Recluse production. While the whole world is going on about the Titanic Submarine rescue by that company called Oceangate with the submarine that's taken the 5 people down below to see the Titanic. You know the one I'm talking about. Surely you've heard it on the news, on your social media, from your neighbours, from the shops. Everybody's talking about it. It's one of those news stories. Yes, as much as it is, wretched thing, we're going to watch a video from a place called Fox 11 News. I just picked some random YouTube video. Anyway, this is my showcase on the Titanic. Since the whole world is going on about it, I feel like a Titanic Oceangate submarine expert. I spent 3 hours last night on YouTube learning about it. Interesting stuff. Very interesting indeed. But Hang Loose Recluse decided, while the whole world's doing their takes on it, then so should the Hang Loose Recluse. Let's get on with the show and show you the video. I'll put it on now. Thank you.
New details tonight on that missing
Sounds like a
Titanic
fake news
submersible.
conspiracy theory.
World's talking about it.
Visible sign of the vessel, but there are reports of sounds detected. As an expert,
I also heard someone else saying they're probably just hearing noises from the Titanic hull because it makes noises.
We have 25 hours left.
But I'm not an expert. I've only spent 3 hours watching YouTube videos on this subject. Thank you.
Tuesday night, the founder of this New York-based public safety dive training company told Fox 11 he believes
Sounds like bullshit to me.
submersible is either tangled in the Titanic wreckage,
Because the debris that is around the
Interesting.
Titanic is so intense. To get entangled is quite easy.
or the 21-foot vessel carrying 1 pilot and 4 passengers is the victim of a leak.
And there is
Victim of a leak. So what would happen in that leak?
Hendricks says best case scenario is the sub known as the Titan is entangled, but even then, that comes with its own challenges.
Reality is, I guess they will find it eventually.
It may not be good news based on the fact that we have to figure out how we would untangle it.
As of Tuesday morning, the
Alright, so if it's untangled. Although, it'll just be the next Titanic, if you know what I mean. People can just go and visit that submarine in another 100 years and it'll still be there. So maybe just don't even bother rescuing it. There it is. Thank you. Just like the Titanic. Leave it alone. No, they have to because it's modern. But if they can't get it, then it will still be there in 100 years and become the new Titanic sort of next scene, if you know what I'm saying. Entombed in that bloody thing.
Nothing else like it.
Meanwhile, a promotional video produced by submersible operator Oceangate touts the Titanic expedition as a once-in-a-lifetime journey. While this clip of the CEO, Stockton Rush, seems to indicate the sub is run by a video game controller.
People are going on about the Xbox controller. But military craft and so forth will be eventually controlled by the same thing, just like a drone. A drone is also controlled by a Xbox-style controller. Ooh. World. Ooh. It's like, so what? It's technology. Cars will be bloody run that way one day. Who cares?
6 hours was never tested.
I'm not saying who cares as in who cares, but they're making it like it's it shouldn't be that way.
Submersible, and then said, how long can we last?
Now, initially, officials said the sub had 96 hours of oxygen, but you just heard Hendrick and his doubts that that was ever tested with 5 people on board.
That is an interesting point. So they're saying that it was up to 96 hours in time. I mean, have they really tested that? Maybe they should have... can you test that? I suppose you could. You'd have to be able to do that somehow, because you lock the capsule. It's airproof. Put someone in it. As soon as they start tapping on the window, you know that it's up. Time's up. Put 5 people in it, and then, yeah. But what I heard also from the 3 hours of knowledge that I've spent on YouTube on the subject is that it's bolted together. There is no manhole in it. It's actually bolted together by a crew and dunked over the edge. That's it. Once you're in, you're locked in. It's a friggin' casket, guys. People, they're entombed in the casket. And if it is 4,000 k's down, and they haven't been able to get the Titanic, they obviously have to work out a way to bring it back to the surface. But eventually it's going to be down there for, man will have a way to bring that little egg back to the surface. Man will have a way. It will happen. Obviously they don't touch the Titanic anymore because it's now, found in 1985. So therefore it's now a normal sort of heritage area. Well, they found it in 1985, which was almost 100 years afterwards, 70 years odd later. So therefore it stays there. It becomes a monument of history and time. And rules are around it. You're not allowed to dive down there and go take anything, etc., etc. Anyway, this has just been another Hang Loose Recluse. random talk and whatnot about the Titanic. What do you call it? The Titanic deep dive thing from Oceangate, the company. $400,000 Australian to go get a ticket and go down there, apparently. Yeah. I mean, I was thinking today, like, imagine, you're on that little thing and then suddenly the air is just running out. You are just basically suffocating. Do you all suffocate at the same time? Or is there different patches where the air's going to be at on the last few breaths? Like, more air over here. I don't know. How would it be? You all just realise it at the same time and you're all just fucked? I mean, that's a horrible concept to think of it like that. I do apologise for anyone who I've triggered. Thank you. Well, not really. I'm trying to make this light-hearted, but I've got to touch on this hang loose, recluse Titanic submarine submersible subject because the whole world's doing it. It's one of those new things that is like, is it going to be the latest, greatest Hollywood movie? You know what I mean? Like, eventually they'll probably use it as a bloody script because the story ain't over, guys. Remember this. The story ain't over when they find this Titanic sunken bloody submarine. That's when the story will begin. Think about it, there'll be GoPros inside that thing. There'll be footage. They would have GoPros with SD cards that are going to leave behind memories. So when they pull that thing up to the surface, it's going to have an SD card in there. And if it collapsed, would that survive? Of course it would, I suppose it would. It's already compressed, so you can't compress it anymore. The pressure that's on that thing will just be pushing all around at each side so it shouldn't snap. And the memory should still... I don't know how pressure works. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I've only spent 3 hours on this subject. Thank you. I did call it quits earlier, but I'm still going. Just waffling on for your sake of it, for your enjoyment at home. This is the hang loose recluse version of the Titanic submarine sinking thing. Yeah, I don't have any information in front of me. I'm just waffling on now for the sake of it. I should really grab another device and try and look it up, but when I do that I go paused and silent. I just want to make this a one-take rant. What else? Yeah, so again, the GoPro footage that they will be finding once they find this egg capsule and possibly bring it to the surface. That's if they can bring it to the surface. But this story, like I said earlier, this story is not over. This story is not over until they recover that egg. Otherwise it's just never over and there's no ending. So that's a horrific thought when you think of the ending. It's like pulling up that thing with 5 people inside it. God damn it. But yeah, that's the most fascinating thing. The pressure below is just too much. One of the ex-employees is saying it's only rated to go down at about 3,000 meters, not 4,000 at the level of the Titanic. Thank you. Yeah, very interesting. Anyway, just going on about it because everyone else in the whole world is. The sonar noises. I said that earlier in the video. Apparently, the rumour is that the sonar... Well, not rumour. I heard it on another video or two. That they're saying the noises they might be hearing from the sonar could be from the hull because they're suddenly just dropping all these sonars into the ocean, picking up all these signals. So they don't just always go out there with aeroplanes and drop sonar into the ocean, floating buoys with sonar on them to map it and collect the point of data, so it's not probably a common thing. I don't know. How often would they go out and do that? And how, this is unprecedented. So for all we know, it could be false noises. But I guess if they are in that bloody thing still kicking down below, they'll be tapping on it, taking it in turns. Your turn for an hour. Tap, 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 tap. You would just be playing drums on it. Bang, 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 bang. That's what I'd be doing. But then again, you want to conserve energy because you're going to be buggered. You only got 4 days down there, apparently. Is it 4? Yeah, it's 4 days, 96 hours. That's 4 days. Far out. This is what makes this case or this story so fascinating to everybody in the whole world. Is it's unprecedented. It's not common. It's like a $400,000 ticket and they're all billionaires. It's just weird. They might as well be. It's just a weird thing. It's bizarre. It's quite bizarre. And bizarre that, you'd tighten this thing up and go down there. I don't know if I'd want to go down there, to be honest. Even if someone said, mate, my shout. I don't know if I would. I wouldn't. I don't think I would. What would you do? Would you go in it? Please comment in the comments below. Thank you. You've been watching another Hang Loose Recluse production. Thank you.
But wait, there's more. That's right, and in true Hang Loose Recluse fashion, We will always put extras on sometimes. Not all the time, but we will put extras on for the loyal people that have made it this far into the video. If you've made it to this far, we really appreciate you watching as we just rant and talk. I've got another 44-second clip. Well, it looks like there's only about 20 seconds to go. I'm just going as this is underwater footage here from 3 years ago. So the wording that you just saw on the screen was from 3 years ago. So it was the first trip in 8 years or whatever, but obviously since then, the Oceangate has just taken place and gone down for lots more regular dives, so something was bound to go wrong. Something was eventually going to go wrong, because look at this. Why shouldn't that submarine in the future have some sort of release valve that lets something float up to the surface to indicate where you are? I don't understand. Anyway, you've been watching another Hang Loose Recluse production. Don't forget to become a recluse and hit the subscribe button. Thank you. You've been watching another Hang Loose Recluse Titanic underwater submarine video. Thank you.